Okay, so welcome back to our 10th episode. Dennis is off doing things right now. So, it's going to be me with our very special guest.
Yeah, I'm Chaon Caruthers. Well, appearing on either side.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know until it posts. So, usually it's like 3 people, and it's like I don't know where I'm going to end up. So welcome to our show. Well, usually our show. And our first question is: would you rather eat a bag of Cheetos, not the whole thing, just like some Cheetos, or go on a hike?
I would rather eat Cheetos because when I was in the military, being active for 3 years, about like maybe once every in a blue moon or maybe a couple of months, we'd go on a 12-mile ruck march, which is basically a hike, except you're going out into the street with a lot of equipment on your back. So I really don't miss those days. So I'll take the Cheetos.
Yeah, Cheetos are always better than a hike, in my opinion. So another one could be, oh golly gee willikers, there's a lot of them. Because I have to do my question and Dennis's. Is TikTok the only place you have done your original characters?
Actually, no. With my clown OC, Hawk Harlequin, I first debuted him in Facebook. That didn't really go so well, especially in 2016 with the whole American Horror Story clown escapade, where Twitter, kind of ruined it for everybody who was either working in hawk attractions and or just following into the trend and everything like that. So his popularity did increase. And when I started to improvise with my other Voodoo Witch Doctor Doc Shock OC, I think it was last year on Halloween, everybody just went nuts over it on Facebook, and I wasn't even trying for anything. And then that's when I discovered TikTok, and I made a couple of videos and decided to introduce them to see if they liked them. And then next thing you know, they're like, "We want to see more of that." So I'm like, "Okay, I guess I found a place for them."
Yeah. And ironically, another question was going to be, how did you find TikTok, or why did you start TikTok, or why did you start TikTok in the first place? That's what it was.
Okay, yeah. Actually, to answer that question of how I discovered TikTok, I actually knew Musically before it became TikTok, and many years that Musically was around, I've avoided it because of the fact that there were so many cringe compilations where there were just 12 to 13-year-old kids lip syncing and dancing to explicit music, talking about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and then I'm just like, well, this is basically an app, for pedophiles and everything.
Yeah.
But then I gave it the benefit of the doubt because I noticed that there was more than just music in there. There's also audio that were from, selected movie clips or something like that with funny dialogue. And I thought, okay, you know what? I could work with it. And so I just carried on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I found it. I found it back when it was Musically. And it was for, like, cosplay purposes. Like, people were like make compilation for like different cosplays people were doing, like Five Nights at Freddy's, Bendy and Ink Machine, stuff like that. And I was like, ooh, this sounds fun. I've made some masks for those games. I might as well start. I might as well try it. Why not? And then my dude was born. From random nonsense and me just putting on a mask and be like, grr. That's how he became. And then I was like, oh, cool outfit. Anywho. What's another one? If you were to cosplay like a character from like books, movies, TV shows, stuff like that, who would you want to do?
Well, I actually do have an idea that is going to be in the making of a gender bend of Poison Ivy. And since I already have, a red wig that's kind of mixed in with black and everything like that, I just got to come up with a good concept of a costume that would describe, Poison Ivy, but as well as in a male perspective.
Yeah.
So it would have to be Poison Ivan. And you just Google search Poison Ivan, and then boom, you see a bunch of gender bend of Poison Ivy. So that's mainly what I would cosplay as. Poison Ivy is one of my favorite Batman villains out of the DC universe. Mm-hmm. And multiple along with Harley Quinn, but then Poison Ivy, there's just something about her besides her pheromones that makes me attracted to her.
Exactly. Uh, hmm. What is the best compliment you've ever gotten, like on a video or on anything about your stuff?
That I'm considered a legend because growing up, I have never heard anything like that whatsoever. That's why I keep doing these videos, and that's why I keep doing the best I can to provide not just something that is a trend that is going on TikTok, but something that is original that they never seen before. And that's why it takes me so long for me to find something like that. It's because, well, one, I am a creator, and I want people to be inspired as well as, you know, be amazed and entertained, than to be like, oh, he's just the same dude who's doing the same thing over and over again, you know?
Makes sense. And I noticed that you were doing some sand cosplays as well. Sands, not just a singular.
Yeah.
And it seems like those have also kind of exploded as well. That's
Yeah.
kind of a weird statement that I wanted to say. But actually, new questions off the top of my head because yeah. Why did you start doing sands in the first place?
It was an experiment actually, just to see how well it would turn out, because I see a lot of people doing Undertale cosplay, and I'm like, well, I'm already bald and I have white mesh contacts, and this is like not even a challenge. All I had to do is just draw some lines around my neck and some circles around my eyes, and then maybe a little things right here on the side of my corner. Just keep smiling because I see everybody else with wigs, with emo hair styles, or having just whiteout contacts and not the mesh ones to make you look like you're blind and everything. And I'm like, this is not 100% accurate. So as I tried it out, I thought, that's enough. Then everybody was on top of it by saying that it was more accurate than anything because he doesn't have hair. And I'm like, well, isn't that supposed to be the point?
Yeah, he's literally a skeleton. He can't have hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like a lot with like those types of video game characters, people try to just do straight up makeup and hair when they don't have hair.
Yeah.
Which to me makes no sense personally. But that's just my opinion. But I mean, I can't really say much. It's very hard to make a full-on thing like this. It's not easy to make a full-on Springtrap costume. So I can see why people wanted to do more of a human aspect of them. So, we did that one. Do you have any other new OCs planned to do?
At the moment, I actually do. And recently when I was doing my drag for the challenge, you know, for reaching 150,000, which currently we're at 230,000. I thank you guys so much for that. I've decided to put that drag challenge into a new OC, and my wife and I were discussing a name for it, and we decided to go with Titania, which is basically a fairy character. I forgot where from, but I believe I'm gonna have to get back to you on that though. But it was definitely a fairy character from one of her favorite stories. My wife will probably come in, and I'll probably ask her. And
yeah,
we couldn't you know, think of any other name besides Titania. And I was like, you know what? I like it. I like it. It's nothing explicit. It's not sounding like a poor name. It's not sounding like an obvious drag name or anything like that. It's just very nice. It has a smooth, you know, slip out of the tongue and everything like that. And plus, it's nearly off from saying Titanic, but it's Titania, putting the emphasis on a different syllable with a different letter.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, so here's another one. How are you and your OC alike, and how are they different? From any of them, I mean.
What's the difference from all of my OCs and me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or was there also alike?
Oh, okay. Hawk Harlequin is basically the crazy fun guy that has no loose ends whatsoever. Like, he would read a sign that says no trespassing, and guess what he does? He just nonchalant, goes through the sun and it just completely ignores it. Does not care whatsoever. that's the part of me that just doesn't care. Like, I have one of those days where it's just like, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna go have some fun. Bye. And then
Yeah.
Doc Shock, he's the sophisticated, suave gentleman that also has an appearance to where he looks scary and weird, but deep down inside, he would make your heart melt. Not literally, but just metaphorically, because he's so smooth and suave. Like a gentleman, though. He would just come up and just say, good evening, man. That just right off the top of the bat. You should be like, just swoon. And then Damon Wayne, who's the guy with the boulder derby that looks like steampunk. He's actually a combination of me and my youngest, because Damon is my middle name and Wade is my youngest son's middle name as well. And this is kind of how I see my youngest son from how he grows up to be. And it's weird because I look exactly like my dad, and I'm like, this is how I envision my youngest to look like. And the reason why I say my youngest is because I have older 3 children as well, but they're technically my stepchildren. They may have some physical appearances of me, handsome, beautiful, but they don't genetically look like me. But they're still my kids. And those are for those 3. And as for Apophis, he's just a little goofy. Like, he looks serious in a way, though, but he has tendencies to be a goofy, pet in a way. And as people, kind of claim him as a boot noodle over danger noodle, it's like, well, that's because you haven't made him mad yet. And the reason why I created this is because that's my perspective of what he would look like in most human form, or anthro form, as you would say, like half human. And the rest of it, obviously, is reptile. And Titania, it's kind of like one of those. I want to say showing the inner beauty, whether it doesn't have to be in male or physical form. It's just presenting beauty in many different ways. I guess that's how I can best describe it.
Makes sense to me. Have you ever gone outside in any of your OCs before?
No, I haven't just yet. I mean, except for Hawk, though, a couple of times, and that was years ago. In fact, one time, before Hawk looks like what he is now with his blue makeup, he was just nothing but black and white. And one Halloween night, we decided to prank somebody's neighbors or friends who were so happy to having a party, and they were kids there, about maybe teenagers. There were adults chaperoning, obviously, and it was like a small house party for Halloween. And then everybody, me, was plotting outside with costumes, machetes, stuff that makes noise, and I was holding a chainsaw without the chain attached, and I was chasing everybody all around, repping the chainsaw, and it was one of the best times ever.
That sounds fun. Trying to think of. Okay, so would you keep a pet zombie or would you kill it?
I would definitely kill it, because 9 times out of 10, if something were to go wrong, or if the restraints break off, which they will eventually, then you're screwed.
Yeah. If you've seen any zombie show or any zombie movie, you're like, and you're gonna die because your loved one. Have fun with that. Is TikTok the only place you do your original characters? I don't think I said that one yet. I might have.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's kind of a continuation with is it well, actually, I will say yes. It is the only place that I do my original characters, because since my fan base is up to 230,000, I figured you might as well just keep it in place. But then I'm using also Instagram and Facebook, and sometimes YouTube, depending on if it's longer videos, for extra publicity to get it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Sorry, I'm not going bouncing in between my questions, his questions. I was like, okay. So, I'm trying to find. Okay, what is one of the biggest misconceptions about you or your original characters?
The biggest misconception is with Doc Shock being compared to other witch doctors, such as Baron Samedi and Papa Shango from the WWF series, or WCW. Sorry, actually, no, I think it is WWF. It's either one of the two, or anything else. That's like always the biggest misconception. And just because he has half skull face paint with a top hat and has bones all over the place doesn't automatically make that person Baron Samedi. It's just a major concept of how they're portrayed, because Baron Samedi technically is a god of voodoo in a way, but he's more of like the voodoo Grim Reaper, because what he is he's portrayed as a tall gentleman with a skull face, top hat, and a suit and everything like that. But what he is he's guiding the souls as they are being departed to their natural place, whether it's their heaven or their hell or anything like that. But he doesn't like grabs their soul from their body with a scythe or anything like that. No, he just calmly guides them. Are you okay? You fell pretty hard, did you not? And they're just like, wait, am I dead? Oh, yes, you are. But I don't want to. Well, that's too bad. You got to come with me. I don't want to. I got rum. Yeah, okay. And that's also another part where some people thought he's the voodoo Grim Reaper, and then the other will say that he's a party animal because they see pictures of him holding cigars and bottles of rum and everything like that. It's kind of a 50-50 type of deal. It just depends on everybody else's different perspective.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because like sometimes my main original character gets compared to Sans all the time because it's a skeleton dude in a jacket, not even a hoodie. Just so that's always fun. And it doesn't help that I do Undertale songs sometimes. Okay, so the videos that you make, is it the ones that you like the best that get the most likes, or is it like the ones that surprise you? Yeah, same word that way.
Well, what did you mean by that? Like
like if you make a video and are like, I feel really happy about this video, I think it's gonna get a lot of likes, and then does it actually get that many, or is it like the ones that's like, okay, I kind of half did this one, I'm putting it out there, and it's like, okay then, that's a lot.
Yeah, actually, 95% of my videos that I know for sure that people are going to enjoy are the ones that get the most likes. And for all the other ones, that the only ones I know that I just did for fun were my Sans videos. And the very first one, when I started it off, I didn't realize how that's going to explode. And the very first video that I did was a transition to where I'm on one side, and then I switch over, and I'm in my Voodoo Witch Doctor Doc Shocks OC, and then I switch back after taking the hat off and on. That was the first video that blew up into I want to say quadruple digits, where it was in thousands, not hundreds, or not just 2 likes or anything like that. Yeah. And I was not expecting that whatsoever. But all the other ones, I make sure that I know people are going to like, and not just half-ass it, because there's really no such thing as in half-assing your videos unless you're just doing this to make fun of a trend, or you just passing out a message or anything like that. But if you really want to put some effort into the video, do not half-ass it, because otherwise you're just not going to get anything past 100 likes. Unless you got a really high fan count and they understand your humor or what you're trying to get over. But at the same time, if you just want to post a video, or if you know that you're not going to get that many likes, just don't do it. Just try something else,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to see what I haven't already said. What's the hardest thing about creating one of your characters? Like, what was like the hardest thing, like, while you're making them?
The hardest thing is to avoid plagiarism, basically. That's the biggest, hardest thing, is avoiding plagiarism. You have to type something out, do your research to make sure that you're not copying someone else's stuff accidentally, because otherwise it's just automatic plagiarism. And I know some people are like, then how do you explain Doc Shock then, when he already looks like Baron Samedi? And I'm like, here we go again, back to this conversation, okay?
Yeah.
And portraying as a witch doctor, you could just type in Google search, Voodoo Witch Doctor costume, and guess what they look like Baron Samedi, because he's the basic portrayal of a Voodoo Witch Doctor.
Yeah. What is the hardest thing about getting into one of your original characters?
I want to say in makeup in general because it depends on the weather. Because I sweat, my body temperature increases warm days, and whenever I sweat profusely, and that makes it difficult for my makeup to stay on. Even if I use primer or setting spray, powder, it doesn't matter. Every time I'm sweating, all of a sudden it starts coming down my face. And the hardest thing would have to be putting the contacts on, because if you don't have enough solution, or if you already put on your makeup, but then you thought you're confident enough to put on your contacts at the same time, but that just will not stay on no matter how much you try. And then you got this major spot around your face from trying to pull down your eyelid. It's a mess.
Yeah. That sounds like, wow. Like most of my stuff, it's like, I'm wearing a mask. I'm done. That's also why I don't get into makeup, because I'm not good at it. Really? Really? Now you turn on. Well then, let's hope that's not being picked up. Anywho, it probably is. Giant, I think here right now. I don't know. It's cold. It's cold and it's warm at the same time. That's not where I live. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what I. Oh, I did that one. That's a food. Okay, here's another weird one. Do you like cats?
Yes and no. Like, I already have a lot of cats in my house, so it's like I would go over to my friend's house and I'd just be like, oh, "Is that a cat? Can I pet it?" And they'll one of two things. They'll say, "Yeah, go ahead," or just be like, "Careful, they bite." And I'm basically just saying, you know what? All the cats that I have around the house, they're assholes.
Yeah,
Without a doubt, they're assholes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many you have. If you have one, if you have 13, like they're assholes or they're super sweet. Usually it depends on the mood. But I'm one of the people who have 12. But so that's always fun.
Yeah.
Trying to see what I think I might have asked everything, or at least a good chunk of them. Did that one? I think we did that one because it's exception, best compliment. Okay, so what is the okay? This is one that I haven't said at all. So what's the worst compliment you've gotten so far? Worst compliment.
Oh, compliment ever. Basically nothing at all. Like no acknowledgement. That would be the worst. And I wouldn't even consider that a compliment. What is the worst comment? That's it. That I've ever given. It would have to be on the. It would have to be about this argument where I posted a PSA, asking for some funds just to help out with my internet and phone, because my internet and telephone, they're connected as one, and my wife is at the house and we only have one vehicle, and I want to make sure that she has at least some kind of communication, and we live out in the woods, and our neighbor is like maybe an eighth of a mile away, and we also have a toddler in the house, and I'm just like, we know anything helps. If I can raise up to pay off my full bill, awesome. Or maybe just a massive amount to where it will, not take off a huge load of my paycheck, because I'm already paying $1,200 for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy to save my house from foreclosing and for my car from going into repossession. And I'm also paying for groceries and other bills, and I'm just like tapped out until tomorrow. And I just noticed that my internet has been shut off, as well as my telephone line. And people are just like, stop using TikTok to beg for money. And I'm like, this isn't a beg.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys, don't want to say, you're not obligated to. But if you are, thank you so much for doing so. I wish there was a way that I could repay you. At the same time, I don't know what you want me to do besides give you a shout out or follow you or something like that. But then that would make me feel like I'm selling myself out, just like all the other crowns that are doing the same thing for they'll follow for a drama queen. And I'm like, isn't that some horse shit? No, I don't want to do that.
Like drama queens are like $50 on our side, and I think you get like half of it or something. And it's like that's not a good turnaround in my opinion. But it's like, why are you asking?
Yeah.
It's weird. I think that's all the questions. Now it goes into the portion where we randomly talk about random nonsense. Where that's always fun. So. Do 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 do.
Dogs will bark and then a random animal or something that's talking about.
Oh, that's always fun. But so I just want to say this because we're probably in about the middle or near ending. I don't know. It depends on how things go. I just want to make sure people know to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, do all that fun stuff. If you want to do all that all fun stuff, and all social medias will be in this description below. And yeah, that's what I'm supposed to say. So that's always fun. I'm trying to think of. Oh, I actually did do a video that was like one of your Sans videos, like when you pull out skull and then and I was
Yeah.
like just that. Oh, I forgot to put inspiration from. I need to put that in the comments. I will do that in a little bit. Anywho, because I like doing that. It's like if you don't like mine, this is where I found it. You might like theirs better. Which was probably true. Trying to think what else we can talk about for at least 4 minutes because we try to do from half an hour to an hour. Oh, do you want to describe any of your characters, like any backstories or anything like that?
Well, I suppose, yeah. The one that a lot of people are asking about with Doc Shock's backstory is that he is a witch doctor that is like well known around New Orleans, Louisiana. And then one day he was being hunted down by a bunch of headhunters, and so he decided to place a curse upon one of his well known article of clothing, which so happens to be his hat. And then I guess one day he got killed in some sort of way, and his spirit somehow manifests into the hat. And those who find the hat and wears it willingly, not like by force or anything like that, all of a sudden the soul that's inside the hat, which is his, goes inside the vessel, takes the soul that is currently in there, and sends it off over to the deity that is a devourer of souls, a devourer of souls and everything like that, like Baba Laga or something. And he takes hold of that body as his new body. And whenever it ages or dies of natural causes, or if it gets shot or something like that, the soul that was in there goes right back into the hat. And the only way to stop it is to contain it. Don't wear the hat, no matter what.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just don't wear the hat. You're fine.
Huh.
Do. Well, I can talk about how I have a head on a stick. um, yeah. Usually it's Let's see. Trying to think of other questions. Usually the questions take a lot longer than they did. So that's always fun. When your plans fail. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. I think that's. Is there anything else you'd like to add? I mean, like, is there anything that you want to say to like any of your fans that might be seeing this, or people who you might come to us to see you and all that?
The biggest thing that I do say is, I'm truly great. I am truly grateful with my fans, like all the time. Wow. Let me rephrase that. For the fans that I have currently read about now, I am truly grateful to have them. And especially to the people that are also creators or people that are trying to get up there as much as possible with TikTok and everything like that. I also befriend them. Like I don't treat them as peasants as I fall to my feet. No, it just depends on how they approach me.
Yeah.
And also my battery is about to run low. My youngest, he's fussing, and I'm probably gonna have to cut this short.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to say just 2 quick questions, then we can be done. I swear to God. Would you ever come back to the show?
Would it? Yeah, I would.
Awesome. And who would you like us to interview next, or somewhere down the line?
Um, yeah. Do you know somebody named Alexis Wolf?
No, but we can look her up. Look them up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's pretty well known. Um, yeah, she's in the hashtag Syndicate, and
Oh,
she's an amazing person. She's in Australia. The time frame is going to be a little off because she might be like 17 hours ahead of you. She's already 15
oh
ahead of
yeah,
me.
that's
So
fun.
yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. So, thank you for joining us on our show, or me on the show, and hopefully next time Dennis will be on. And I hope you have a good day. I hope everybody watching has a good day. And like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And we will see you all in the next video. Bye.